ducks. Would you come over and sit in this chair?
What chair? Oh, on the chair. Only the lonely.
Hello, HyddenWell farmers.
Hi, HyddenWell farmers and rabbiteers.
Hey, we're out here at the farm and got a beautiful fire going. I bought a wedge to go with my axe and my sledgehammer, and I did something tonight I've never done in my life before. I busted by hand a big giant wooden log.
As opposed to a plastic log.
I've used an axe before to chop up, of course, logs and small wood and wood that's already been busted, but I've never actually busted a log. And so I bought a $9 wedge, and I come out here and I wanted to give it a shot. And I busted up my first log and built a fire. And it's nice and warm because it's chilly out here. But I got my beautiful wife here with me, and Miss Mary Ruth is out here. Say hi, Mary Ruth, real loud.
Hi, Mary Ruth.
And she's recording for us. But one of the things that we were talking about the other night is homesteading. And Susan and I, we don't consider ourselves homesteaders. We have a lot of homesteading love. We have a lot of homesteading interest. And we haven't probably bought any significant amount of meat in the grocery store in years. But our lifestyle is so busy with our clinic and things of that nature, and we're very careful when we use the word homesteaders because there's such a wonderful, huge community of full-blown homesteaders, from people who just do it in their backyard on a half an acre to, those that we follow on YouTube that, that's their entire lifestyle. And we have a lot of respect for that. But our homesteading is pretty limited because we just don't have time.
And it's not our home.
And we don't live here. That's true. Our home is about 15 miles away, but we spend a lot of time here, especially me, because I just love it and camping out. But we have a lot of love for homesteaders, and we wanted to say that as far as homesteading goes, we love that lifestyle, and I hope that as Susan and I develop this farm, I've always wanted to farm. She's always wanted to farm, and as we develop this and grow with it, I hope that we will be more and more and more homesteaders. I'd like to be completely food self-sufficient, by the time I'm 60. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but that's our goal, and that's definitely what we're shooting for. And no matter where you are in that homesteading lifestyle, maybe you just have a garden in your house. That's fine. It's worthy to do. And so we just wanted to say that, we have a lot of respect for homesteaders and that lifestyle. And so that's why we're very careful. Somebody asked me if we're homesteaders the other day, and I felt very uncomfortable giving myself or our farm that title just because of the lifestyle that we live. So busy at the clinic, and veterinary medicine takes up 80% of our life. I mean, it really does. We're open 62 hours a week just for regular business, and the book work, the after-hour stuff that we do, the errands that we run. I mean, it's 70, 75 hours a week for both of us, and so owning a veterinary clinic is an awesome thing, and we are blessed to have it, and it's allowed us to have a wonderful life. But at the same time, it's a lot of responsibility and a lot of work. So in our past life,
The one we're done living?
the one that we're done living, that is correct. that was a life where we were young and free.
Oh.
I thought I would tell you a story that Susan had a great deal of it with, and she doesn't know the story I'm going to tell
No,
because
I do not.
I haven't clued her in on it yet. But we had some friends in Auburn, Alabama, that lived right next to us. We got married. They were friends of ours before we got married, and they just became more of our friends once we got married, and we ate dinner with them a lot. And the opportunity came for us to drive across the country while I was on my summer break. We had just been married about a year, and I was on break from veterinary school. She was on break from working on her college stuff. So we decided to go across the country because her sister had just had a baby. Mary Ruth and Faithlin were not born at that time. But what I was trying to allude to is Faithlin just had a birthday, and that's just kind of what made me think of it, because Susan's sister had a daughter named Rebecca, and they lived in California, and that was what prompted us to think we're going to drive all the way across the country and see everything we can, including the new addition to the family, her sister's child, our first niece, right? Your sister's, let me rephrase that, the first niece that your sister had given birth to.
Oh, okay.
Your sister's first child.
Yes.
Yeah, the only niece that your sister ever gave birth to. Trying to tell a story here. Oh my goodness. So we got Em and Darren involved in this fiasco, and we had an old station wagon, and we decided that on a whim we would just take off. We had no plans, none, except to go to California. We made our plans up as we went along. And here's what made our trip even more incredible. We didn't have any money.
We had enough.
We had just enough money. Well, we stopped at tourist sites all along the way, and Darren,
Especially the free ones.
especially the free ones like the Grand Canyon, Carlsbad Caverns, things like that.
Fight for it.
But I had this little old, gosh, man, it's hard to imagine a world where we didn't have digital cameras. But I had a little 35 millimeter camera that my mom had bought me in high school for Christmas. And I had used that camera a lot, but my goodness, it was so expensive to take pictures and then have them developed. And, and then to keep up with all that, it's hard to believe we lived in that world.
Where you took one picture and you hoped nobody blinked.
That's right.
Because
you didn't know. And you didn't know if they blinked or not.
And you weren't going to risk taking another one because you might need that one for something else you wanted to take a picture of, because you were going to run out of film.
That's right.
That was weird.
But my 35 millimeter camera, it was just an Instamatic, which means you couldn't focus or zoom, or it was just automatic focus. You point and you shot, you got what you got. I mean, that's pretty much how it was. And it was a great camera. I still have all of multiple hundreds of pictures that I took with that camera still in our archives and our history that our kids will look at someday and make fun of us. But already do. Darren had taken photography, and Darren had a super nice, like, Nokia camera that had the battery-operated automatic film loader and had the zoom cameras. And Darren knew a lot about photography. He knew a lot about it. And we had agreed that we would let Darren take the majority of the pictures because he had bought bags full of canisters of 35 millimeter film. And my poor little camera, I only had 5 or 6 little things. And so I kept my camera with me. And Susan and I would take small shots of things, but Darren, we would pose for him, and we'd hold legs up, and we'd do the whole sticking the tongue out, and sit on rocks at the petrified forest. The painted desert, we went up and peed in the sand.
No, we did not.
Okay, I just joke. We didn't do that. Carlsbad's Caverns. The thing about Carlsbad Caverns, though, that was after the event.
Yeah.
Because what happened is that we stopped at the Grand Canyon. We had done all these things days into this trip, and we stopped at the Grand Canyon. we went down the trail to the Grand Canyon, and we got way down in there, and there's a big giant sign on the trail. If you do not have water and first aid and supplies, do not cross this line by penalty of law. This is as far as you can go if you are not well supplied. And so we turned around at that point, come back out there, and Darren's taking picture after picture after picture after picture. And we got back to the car, and I don't know what it was. It was just something that dawned on me. Darren's sitting there taking pictures, and I said, Darren, how many pictures can you take with that camera? Because I didn't know. It was a very honest question. Without changing the film. I mean, how big are those rolls for that camera? And he got this look on his face. I'll never forget it. It was like, that's a good question. 35? Was it 35 you could take? 32? 36? And he got real quiet for a minute, and I remember him kind of giving him this dirty look. And I said, you've been taking pictures for days, but I've never seen you a single time change the film out.
Well, that day anyway. I hadn't seen him change any since we got to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, or the Painted Desert. I mean, it was a couple of days. He'd taken a lot of pictures. So we were sitting there, and then the debate came, do I open the back of the camera or do I not open the back of the camera? And so he sat there.
Because if you open the back of the camera and there's film exposed, whatever picture is on there is gone.
It's gone, yeah.
It's exposed to the sunlight and it's gone. It's not something that happens with a digital camera. But yeah, so if you don't want to open it if your roll of film is not rolled up and finished.
That's right. So we made the decision. I think we took a vote, and it was unanimous to open it, and he opened it, and somehow or another it had either taken all of the film or it had never engaged and actually loaded the film.
I think that the gears had stripped the holes that advanced the film. When he got to the end, he hit it, and it never let him know that he was done with the film. It just stripped the holes, so it kept spinning like he was actually winding it. So he was winding it, and it was just cutting holes, and it wasn't doing anything.
There were 4 people that sat there at the Grand Canyon in total silence for like 5 minutes. And I think I was the one that broke the silence. I said, we lost all those pictures that we took. And Darren goes.
And then we looked at each other. I don't want to go all the way back down that trail.
But you know what?
We
We did.
We
He loaded it
ran.
up, and we ran all the way back down to that sign and took pictures of all. We probably took 75 pictures up and down that little trail at the Grand Canyon.
In a hurry.
In a hurry because we had to get to Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
And
It
so
was getting dark.
so there we were rushing, and from that point forward, Darren, made sure that the film was working in the camera, and we got some great pictures back from that. But if there's a moral to that story, I don't know what it is.
Check your equipment. Count your photos.
But
If you're not doing digital, make sure you know what you're doing.
that's right. So that was a great trip. We ended up doing when we got to California, we did some tourist things. One of the things we did was the safari at the San Diego Zoo, the safari tour.
You mean the Wild Animal Park?
Wild Animal Park, yeah. We did that, and it was awesome. We really had a good time. And of all the things we did, that one is the one that I think I enjoyed the most. Even though we did go to Disneyland, and that was a lot of fun.
And Knott's Berry Farm.
And Knott's Berry Farm. I wasn't impressed with Knott's Berry
That's 'cause
Farm.
you were sick.
Probably because I was sick, yeah. Anyway, HyddenWell Farmers, thank you for joining us for story time tonight. And one of our sheep had twins. I'll show you pictures of that here in just a few minutes. Mary Ruth, you want to say anything to HyddenWell Farmers?
What up?
What up? Bye. Are we going to go check Wilma?
Should we go today?
I think we should go today.
How about now?
Let's go now.
Hi, guys. Hello, Wilma. How's your babies doing?
Such a good one. Protecting those little girls. Little Betty. Hi, Betty. Betty has an A on her left side, and then she has 2 spots on her right side. Do they feel right? They just look weird.
They're just babies.
Think they just got cramped up in there.
Yeah. Darling. Boy, you look pretty.
Hi, Pebbles.
Lots of milk.
Do her legs feel right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They're just crouching to try to get some milk. Hey, baby.
Did we wake you up, little adorable babies?
Look at those ears.
Wilma, you wanted to try and win the record of the best weight on twins, right? Is that why you waited so long to have your babies? They were both almost 10 pounds, weren't they?
Check Mama's.
Hold on, Mama. Hold still.
What a good girl. Nice and bright and alert. Eyes look good.
Pebbles has equal dots on her tail. Betty looks like she has an A in quotation marks on her hip. Like she's an Alabama fan or something.
What?
Are you an Alabama fan?
Let me get my knife out right now. War Eagle, baby. War Eagle.
Maybe it's Angels.
War Eagle.
She can be an Angels fan, can't she?
Yeah.
Goodness, Wilma, you look like somebody needs to have some milk. She says, leave my tail alone.
She's in great flesh. She's nice and fat.
She must be for those babies to be that big. Bye, sweet babies.
Those are beautiful.
Do you feel anything?